In this video, we're going to talk about how we can use price action rules to help us predict direction bias of the market and where are the high probability setups. As a price action trader, I'm only relying on the candlesticks on the chart. I have only one supportive indicator on the chart, 12-bar EMA, but for the most part, I'm mainly analyzing the pure price movement. So as a price action trader, I know there's always a channel present for every single price movement, and even though we are in a big consolidation, overall bias is neutral. The most recent bias is bearish structure. I have a nice spike down and I have series of low highs, low lows, which is telling me that the structure right now is bearish, and I naturally have to locate a channel. You can see I'm getting a lot of confirmations. You always want these channels to fit nicely, a lot of confirmations and minimal empty room. So right now what I understand that the bias is bearish and I'm only thinking about selling. However, I cannot just sell willy-nilly. Just because the trend is down, that doesn't mean that I can just sell anywhere. There are micro corrections inside every single trend, okay? This is why I'm drawing these short-term channels, because I need to time my entry correctly. You have a close outside, push to a new high, and the uptrend played out. So good. I no longer have to be worried that buyers are in the market. But now we are above EMA and I can only sell if we're going to get a break below EMA. That is the resumption that the sellers are back in the market, because we need new low tested. And on top of that, the signal bar is terrible. So right now I'm just waiting, and you can see the correction is still actually taking place. There is no setup anyway. I'm not giving up on the new low because the channel looks confirmed. And we are already breaking below EMA, so this is good. I'm going to use the highest high of this correction, okay? I'm using the counting technique. So new high, first attempt to go long, failed. And if there's going to be second entry long is going to fail, I want to sell. I'm not counting for long entries to go long. I'm counting for long entries to see where I can sell, take advantage of the structure, because the structure is bearish and market tells me that we need to test new low following the trend line rule. So I'm going to predict where the market is going to go using the channel. Correction played out and we're below EMA, indicating okay, everything is falling in place. Now we have the failed second entry long, but the problem is we pushed above EMA and the failed second entry long form after there's a second entry long and the first bar that gets a break below its low after second entry long. That's what we consider failure. But I cannot sell below bullish bar above EMA, and by the time I get a bearish bar for double bar entry, it's quite substantial. 9 points. Your stop loss goes here. Context wise, this is a perfect setup, so predictable. I'm going to mark it mainly to study this, but I didn't take it. I was looking for some better bar. It's a shame, but context is perfect. We're predicting where the market is going to go. And now downtrend played out with the break, push to new extreme. The push down though is quite significant, and we have additional push down and market broke higher. So right now when I'm watching this, I'm not really sure what exactly is happening, okay? Because we may reach the low today. This push down was significant. You can actually make it tempting to draw some wider channel, something like this or something like this, but we are above EMA. So after I see new extreme like this, I expect area of development. I'm going to be very objective and honest with myself that I'm not 100% sure what is happening. This is why this is high probability setup, because everything falls in place and you can predict this setup in advance, okay? Everything makes sense. This is why setups like these work 90% of the time, okay? These setups don't happen every single time. This is why we have to be patient, but once they form, they're very reliable. But now, you know, nothing pretty much is confirmed. You actually have a mini second entry long, but problem is this uptrend is super tiny. We're going quite sideways. If you took it, I can see why. It's not such a terrible setup to consider, but it's just not fully clear. There's a case for wider downtrend. You know, I need some stronger trend first, but if you took it, not that big of a deal. And now it's super confusing because it's getting too broad. I don't want to draw any broader channel like this because this is too flat. Your channel shouldn't be too flat. This is mainly a trend range tilted up. This is too flat. So I have no other option but drawing these tight channels, but at the same time I have two legs up. So I can't go long, I can't go short above EMA, so more waiting area for me. Okay, here I thought there's some wider uptrend, but we broke below it. I have to redraw the smaller channel. So I'm just watching this, trying to make sense of what the candlesticks are telling me, but it's hard to find confirmed channel, okay? I want the channel that has 3 confirmations. 2 swings is just not enough. Everything is looking too spiky. You know, I can't sell, can't go long, nothing is confirmed, so more waiting area. Breaking new extreme, okay, another downtrend played out. You're back above EMA. But what is the structure? Not easy to decipher. So I'm just not even taking setups, not even thinking about setups, honestly. I'm just waiting this area out. I want to protect my capital and my account. I don't want to take stupid, impulsive mistake. So I need to be patient. You know, in hindsight, it makes sense. But when you're watching this live, you have to trust your channel and you have to trust your read. You know, in hindsight, I can draw something like this just to make sense what the structure was doing. You have a break in new high, but I don't see no good setup here. We had significant push up. Now, I have to redraw short-term downtrend regardless. But when I was watching this, I thought there is some potential overshoot, something like this. Because right after breaking new high, you have significant bullish spike. So either way, we have a downtrend in place, so I cannot take the second entry long. The downtrend is in play, uptrend played out, or you have overshoot. No matter how I'm looking at this, I still have to be patient, cannot go long. And because market reversed so substantially all the way down like this, it basically makes no sense for me to play this uptrend, and I'm going to locate downtrend working lower. Okay, now when I'm drawing this channel, I keep getting overshoot, but it's not really acting as overshoot because it keeps pushing lower, keeps pushing lower. So generally, this is a sign that there is no overshoot, but you can already tell that this is not super healthy downtrend. Okay, you can tell because when you're watching this live, you keep moving this trend channel line, keep moving this, keep moving this. You know, where are the confirmations here? So you can get the feeling that this is mainly a little bit oversold. See what's going to happen. This channel is not super strong, just normal channel, short-term channel. Going to redraw the correction. I was looking for second entry short at the EMA, but we are not full at the EMA with the body. This is just not enough. We're not even at the key level here. Very close, but simply not enough. Okay, I wanted to see setup close to the EMA. I know some traders took it on a deeper limit order, let's say 50% in, and they managed to get the scalp, but I was hoping for setup to form closer to the EMA. Now you have inside bar. This was very tempting setup. This was very tempting setup, but we cannot take inside bar. It's looking like the uptrend needs to get new high. You can tell that it's starting to go quite sideways. There is some momentum being accumulated. Maybe there's the overshoot. Had there been no inside bar, I probably would have shorted here, but the inside bar prevented me. I was preparing my limit order to go short here on the lower high, mini second entry short, but it never triggered. There is no break below this bar, so there is no entry. So you just have to wait. And now we have a second entry short. Okay, I don't want to cherry pick in hindsight just because this ended up losing. You know, if this was normal bar and not an inside bar, I would definitely mark it. But because it's an inside bar, I have to skip it. So if you have some different bar and you had normal bar and you took it, okay, it's a good trade. But on my chart, I have inside bar. So for this reason, I have to skip it. Now we have new low here, first entry short, second entry short. Now, this is a solid setup. Why is this a solid setup? Well, because there are many reasons, okay? Number one, this is a second entry short and the uptrend played out. This uptrend finally played out. So you are clear. You don't have to be afraid of the bullish correction. This is also mini failed breakout out of this consolidation. Most breakouts will fail and the downtrend still needs to get new extreme. And you can tell that this was a nice trap. It's a bit more advanced, but you can learn to think about the structure like this. Look at all of these sellers. They're probably placing all of their stops just few ticks above this key level. They just had to ride it out, take out all of these stops, and then enter and take it lower. Price action is very efficient. This can happen, but this is a great setup. Second entry short, failed breakout after uptrend played out with the break and a new high. Lower high was not there, breaking new low, downtrend played out. So I'm pausing, looking to go short. Once again, train your brain to expect right now area of development and be patient. No matter how tempting the bar is, it doesn't matter. Context is important. Downtrend played out. I have to pause looking to go short, and I cannot go long without reversal. But market keeps trending lower. Okay. So it looks like a brand new downtrend is starting. So I have multiple choices what to do with the structure. Either look for a very big channel like this, but it keeps getting overshoots, you know, a little bit useless as of right now. Maybe in the future, once the structure gets more established. But when I'm watching this and I see so many overshoots, it looks like maybe there's a brand new downtrend like this that started around this area. So this is what I was looking at. Okay. We have another second entry short that ended up working. And the double bar entry is small, so that's not the problem. Problem is the short-term trend line though. Problem is the short-term trend line. I really can't draw it tight like this. We don't draw channels for 1 bar. So I really need lower high. That never formed. It's a shame it worked in hindsight, but you know, there is some short-term channel. Break a new low, downtrend played out. So I have to pause looking to go short. And when I'm going to take a look at 10,000 tick chart, there actually seems to be a wider channel with small overshoot. Okay, so I use the higher time frame 10,000 tick chart to kind of help me analyze the structure when I'm not 100% sure what is happening on the main time frame. But I either have overshoot or this steep channel played out. This was not easy structure. We prefer trends to be consistent series of low highs and low lows. This is just some spike down, bro pullback, spike down. Okay, these are not easy structures because market cannot go lower indefinitely. This looks a little bit too steep, oversold, so I have to pause looking to go short. I have no reason to sell right now. We're a little bit overdone. Now I'm going to draw a wider channel like this because we have the overshoot. Break a new high, uptrend played out. So this correction is over. If we're going to break below EMA, that is a decent sign that there is resumption of the bearish market. Now we have a lower high. Okay, now we have a lower high. Problem is this lower high is not really confirming much. Okay, it's confirming first, second, third entry. The wider channel is iffy, not super confirmed. You know, maybe you can consider, you know, it's not super textbook because it's just not confirming much. What if we had overshoot and there is some momentum left for the bulls? I need second entry short or first second entry long, but it ended up working. Okay, market keeps going lower. And because we have new low lower than this, where we have overshoot, I can widen it. It's clearly not acting as overshoot. And the market is getting stronger and stronger. Okay, tiny pullbacks, first entries are working, we can't even touch the EMA. Market is getting stronger and stronger. So I'm still thinking about selling. We're correcting to the EMA, new low first entry short, and we have second entry short. Second entry short at the EMA, correction phase is ending, push phase is about to start, and this is a great high probability setup. The signal bar is not textbook, but context is most important. And you have nice tail, decent body. This is worth taking and a great high probability setup. I actually took this setup myself. And then I have to redraw. You can see I have a second entry short again, but I have to redraw the short-term uptrend. As you can see, here you have uptrend, break, attempt to test the new high, first entry long. Attempt is enough because there is the EMA in the way. Okay, here you just have an uptrend in play. So attempt is enough because the trend is strong and you have EMA. And now the market is about to close. It's getting too late. Okay, so this was the structure for today. Interesting day. The market is finally slowing down, although we managed to get some volatility here, but it was pretty slow, which is good to see. Also, the ATR is slowly but surely dropping lower. So hopefully we will soon have smaller bars so we can trade our normal position size and the bars are not that big. Decent price action. It's a little bit tricky area. If you took some of these setups because you have better bars, no problem. And there are a few good setups today. So overall decent structure. What is important to remember from today's lesson that you really need to train your brain to be able to compartmentalize between the structures. Okay, because there are structures where you can predict what's going to happen, and there are structures where everything played out and you have to remain objective and you have to simply admit that you don't know what's happening. Okay, I do this all the time. There's no shame in doing this because you don't want to be gambling. High probability setups, they work 90% of the time simply because everything aligns. So you just need to be patient and wait when everything aligns. Okay, so every single time you have doubts about the structure, you're drawing your channels back and forth, deleting them, redrawing them, you're not sure, just remain patient because the structure will always eventually become clear. There's always a brand new downtrend, everything is predictable. So that's how you think about the price action. So I hope it was helpful. I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to talk to you next time. Good luck with your trading.